Today we are going to talk about the flexor retinaculum. Next important short notes. Flexor retinaculum, or it can be asked as a carpal tunnel syndrome. Whatever is asked, you have to write the same answer. Okay, flexor retinaculum. Point number 1. Where it is placed? Site. It is present in the flexor compartment of the forearm. Second, attachment. Okay, and medially and laterally. It is a band present in the flexor compartment of the forearm. It is a band-like structure. It is a modification of deep fascia. Retinacular or all modification of deep fascia. And attachment, medially it is attached to what and laterally attached to what. Okay, now we'll see this picture. This is the flexor retinaculum. Nicely you can see a band-like structure here, and you can see from medially and laterally. This is the lateral part, since the radial bone is here and the thumb is here, and this is the medial side. She looks too pretty. Try to catch her is the carpal wound arrangement. So medial means this side hamate and pisiform. So we'll write hamate and pisiform medially, and laterally you can see scaphoid and trapezium. Okay, scaphoid and the trapezium. Scaphoid and the distal margin of trapezium. Understand these two bones. So they form the flexor retinaculum. Okay, attachment. So attachment we have written. Now structures above the retinacula and structures below the retinacula, flexor retinaculum, and structure piercing the retinacula, flexor retinacula. These three structures are very important. First, structures above we'll see here. Number 1, this side ulnar side. So can you see ulnar nerve and ulnar artery clearly? Okay, so palmar, this is ulnar nerve and ulnar artery deep inside. So superficially, palmar cutaneous branch of ulnar nerve and palmar cutaneous branch of ulnar artery is seen, and center palmar is longest tendon is going, and here palmar cutaneous branch of median nerve. So these are the nerves. Understand? See, these are the structures. So I will write here from lateral to medial to lateral side. Medially what we saw first and now. So first one is palmar cutaneous branch of ulnar nerve. Second, palmar cutaneous branch of ulnar artery, and number 3, palmaris longus tendon. Number 4, palmar cutaneous branch of median nerve. Understand? So structures below, that is only very important. What are the structures lying below? Number 1, we see the structure which is going towards the pollex finger. This is going this side, and the structure is going to the digits. What are the structures are going to the pollex finger? Flexor pollicis longus, everybody knows. And the digits fingers, what are the structures? Tendons going to the digits are flexor digitorum superficialis, and beneath that flexor digitorum profundus, everybody knows. So 4 tendons of digitorum superficialis and 4 tendons of flexor digitorum profundus. These two are going in the middle way. So we have bursa, which encircles. Bursa means it is a sac-like structure to prevent the friction. Already anatomically the sac is placed inside nearby the friction prone areas. So here the radial side we have a bursa, and ulnar side we have a bursa. So there are two bursa beneath the flexor retinacula. The radial bursa, the tendon going via the radial bursa is flexor pollicis longus, and the tendons going via the ulnar bursa is flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus. In between these two bursa, you could see I have marked a yellow color structure. What is the yellow color one? You can see median nerve. Okay, median nerve is passing deep. The main trunk of median nerve is going through that. So radial bursa, ulnar bursa, in the middle you have the median nerve. So now we will write, okay, 2 bursa. One is radial bursa, another one is ulnar bursa. What is the content of these 2 bursa? Radial bursa, flexor pollicis longus, and in the ulnar bursa you have flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus. In between these two, what is the midline structure we saw? The median nerve. Understand? Median nerve. Median nerve. Understand? Understood? Okay, so these are the structures lying below the flexor retinaculum. So superficially, what are the structures are there? Deep, what are the structures there? Structure piercing. What is the structure piercing? Again, we'll see. The retinacula is placed over here, scaphoid and trapezius. But if you see, there is a tendon which lies in the groove of trapezium. Very important MCQ. It is coming from the radial side. Already we knew that is your flexor carpi radialis that lies in the groove of trapezium. So no other go, this tendon should pierce the flexor retinaculum, or then there are two lips for the trapezium. Okay, so this flexor retinaculum itself, it will be split into two. It will split into two and it will be attached to the two lips. So between the two lips only the flexor carpi radialis goes. So what is the structure piercing the flexor retinaculum is? Now you write which tendon? Flexor carpi radialis pierces the flexor retinaculum. Otherwise you can call it in a different way. So flexor retinaculum, this is the trapezium bone. Okay, there is a groove in the trapezium. This is the scaphoid and here is the hook of the hamate and here is the pisiform. Understand? These are the bones. So your retinacula is coming from here and it splits. Okay, here the band is coming and but here it splits. So the entire area you can shade it like this. Understand? Here only it splits because there is a groove. So now you can understand which tendon is lying in the groove. Flexor carpi radialis. So the flexor carpi radialis lies in the groove. That's why it is pierced by flexor carpi radialis. Understood? So these are the structures. So we have written the site, you have written the attachment, structures above, structures below, structure piercing, and next is a clinical application. Clinical application, what will you write? That is the most important question. Carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, these are the carpal bones. Imagine these are the carpal bones and above is the flexor retinaculum. Beneath only your radial bursa and ulnar bursa situated. In between these two only your ulnar nerve is going through this. So ulnar nerve is going. What is this tunnel called? This tunnel is called as carpal tunnel. So what happens? This area is very narrow. Already it is narrow. So if any of this bone is dislocated inside, this nerve make it compress. So what are the causes of carpal tunnel syndrome? Number one cause, the causes of carpal tunnel. So we'll write the causes of carpal tunnel. Number one, causes. So where is this tunnel? Site of carpal tunnel is below the flexor retinaculum. And what are the causes? Number one, dislocation. Dislocation of which bone? Which bone? Carpal bone is more prone for dislocation. When you go in a bike called Luna, you will fall down. You keep it in mind like that. So Luna means which bone? Lunate. So lunate carpal bone. To keep it in mind, I said Luna is a bike. Okay, so when you go in a bike, you will fall. So keep it in mind like that. Which carpal bone is more prone for dislocation? Lunate. So number two, dislocation. Otherwise, any connective tissue disorder. Connective tissue means inside that if there is accumulation of fluid or something. So usually mixed edema. Mixed edema is a hypothyroid condition where the entire area is filled up with extracellular fluid, and the most common physiological condition, pregnancy. These are the commonest causes. So which nerve gets compressed? Your median nerve. Okay, so what will happen? It causes injury causes. What will happen? So median nerve supplies the thenar aspect. So this is your thenar aspect. So you have lot of thenar muscles here. What is the action of thenar? Okay, thenar thinner muscles atrophied. And then medial lateral 3.5 fingers, palm 1, 2 and 3.5 fingers of palm, loss of sensation. And then lumbricals, lateral 2 lumbricals out. So what will happen? So you cannot flex the metacarpal phalangeal joint, so extension. So what is that hand called? Claw hand. Okay, so claw hand, you cannot hold the paper. That is median of claw hand. So your hand will be like this, understand? So this is called claw hand. That's all about the carpal tunnel. So if only carpal tunnel is out, we have tried about the side and causes nerve compression, and then what are the muscles will be paralyzed. All these structures should be written.